vkook. Welcome back to the vkook TV channel worldwide. And stop scrolling now because in the next few minutes, the way you see luxury might change forever. February 2026 is not just about a watch. This is about the secret symbol of power quietly worn by global icons, and why one small sparkle on Jungkook's wrist made millions of people fall silent, jealous, angry, and curious at the same time. In this video, we are not just talking about price. We are dismantling the psychology behind an object more expensive than a family car and the reason the world cannot stop talking about it. And wait until the end, because there is one fact almost never discussed publicly about the relationship between pop culture, status, and the silent message delivered by this watch from Hublot. A fact that will make you ask, is luxury inspiration or the greatest social provocation of the digital century? This is not merely a story about celebrities. This is about a generational collision, about the shadow of an extreme discipline legacy in the style of Kobe Bryant now meeting the explosion of modern pop influence. And in the middle of it all, there is one common thread: how icons like Kim Taehyung continue to remind the world that fame without kindness means nothing. So before we begin, press like, write your comments right now because the debate will be heated, subscribe, turn on the bell, and help this video go viral so the world keeps seeing the good side of Kim Taehyung that is often drowned out by the noise of luxury. Take a breath, because after this, we enter a story that is not only about time, but about who is considered worthy of controlling it. February 2026 opens a chapter that is almost ironic in the history of global luxury. At a time when the digital economy makes everything feel instant, status symbols return to the slowest object, the mechanical watch. In a world moving at notification speed, power is now displayed through something that ticks calmly. Precise, quiet, expensive, and it does not need to ask for attention because attention arrives on its own. The focus is not on a handsome face or perfect formal clothing. The narrative locks onto one small object brutally honest about social hierarchy, the luxury wristwatch. On the wrist of the young figure Jungkook is mounted a watch from the Swiss horology house Hublot, a brand that over the past 2 decades has aggressively positioned itself at the intersection of technology, art, sports, and global pop culture. The model worn is estimated in the range of $22,000 to $28,000, depending on material variants, bezel, and mechanical complications. That number is not just a price. It is an access code, a ticket into an exclusive room where futuristic design meets world-class social influence. There, time is not only measured, time is displayed. And this is where public psychology begins to play. Why are millions obsessed with an object whose function can be replaced by a $100 phone? Because a luxury watch is not a tool. It is a manifesto. It declares something never spoken: I am not chased by time. Time follows me. This message works like social magic. It triggers admiration, jealousy, aspiration, even anger. Anger because that small object nakedly exposes the world's inequality, and precisely there lies its attraction. Luxury always lives from emotional conflict. The partnership between Jungkook and Hublot marks a directional shift in the luxury watch industry that once felt exclusive, even closed. For decades, horology was identified with European aristocrats, senior collectors, and legendary athletes whose careers were forged through decades of discipline. February 2026 shows a radical shift. A digital generation pop star standing at the front line of an industry once allergic to mass culture. This is not coincidence. This is strategy. The luxury watch industry is fighting for relevance in the eyes of a generation born with touchscreens. Global luxury industry reports from various market research institutions throughout 2024 to 2025 show that consumers under 35 now contribute the fastest growth share in the luxury watch category. This generation does not buy because of family tradition. They buy because of digital identity. They buy because of narrative. When Jungkook wears Hublot, he is not merely a brand ambassador. He becomes a psychological bridge that makes millions of young fans feel invited into a world that once seemed tightly closed. The generational contrast sharpens when we draw a line to the legacy represented by Kobe Bryant. Kobe is not merely a legendary athlete. He is a metaphor for hard work frozen in high-tech metal and ceramic. In his collaboration with Hublot, limited edition watches become small monuments to the Mamba mentality, extreme precision, obsessive discipline, and a pursuit of perfection bordering on the inhuman. The watch is not just an accessory. It is a capsule of life philosophy. Kobe represents an era when luxury was built from slowly forged reputation. Jungkook represents an era when influence spreads in seconds. These two worlds appear to collide, yet they reinforce each other. One speaks about the eternity of achievement. The other speaks about the speed of modern culture. Hublot reads this moment with strategic intelligence rarely possessed by traditional industries, binding sports legends and music icons into one global narrative of uncompromising excellence. And the public responds in ways both predictable and surprising. Social media in February 2026 is filled with heated debates. Is this horological art or merely aggressive marketing? Is a watch priced like a family car a symbol of aspiration or an insult to the economic reality of most humans? These questions explode not because the answers matter, but because of the emotions they generate. Luxury has always been an uncomfortable mirror. It reflects inequality, ambition, and a collective hunger for recognition. The key note is simple yet sharp. This is not merely a commercial partnership. This is the peak of cross-generational exclusivity, a bridge between a monumental past and a hyper-digital future. The watch ticks slowly, but its message is loud. Time may be democratic, everyone gets 24 hours, but symbols of excellence choose their owners selectively. That is where the social drama lives. The circulating photos are not just fashion documentation. They are a psychological stage. We are not merely seeing an expensive accessory. We are seeing how time, culture, and status are compressed into one small circle on a wrist. For some people, its value is tens of thousands of dollars. For a global icon, it is an identity signature, a visual stamp that says, I am not just present on the world stage, I set its rhythm. This phenomenon explains something larger about modern humans. In an era where everyone can look rich on a screen, physical luxury becomes more important as tangible proof. A mechanical luxury watch offers something that cannot be faked with filters: weight, texture, and precision engineering that requires hundreds of hours of human labor. It is a silent resistance against a digital world full of imitation. And the public, consciously or not, longs for objects that feel real. Ironically, the more expensive an object becomes, the wider its emotional reach. People who will never buy it still participate in the conversation. They criticize, mock, admire, and share. Algorithms love conflict. The luxury industry understands that perfectly. Controversy is not a threat. It is visibility fuel. Every angry comment is free advertising. Every moral debate is brand amplification. At this point, the watch stops being a product. It becomes a cultural narrative. It is a story about who is considered relevant, who holds influence, and who succeeds in tying the past to the future within one visual symbol. February 2026 may be remembered not for the launch of a specific model, but for the moment when the digital generation and horological tradition finally shook hands before a global audience. And perhaps the most honest remaining question is not about price, brand, or celebrity. The question is more personal. Why do we care so much? Why can a metal circle on someone else's wrist trigger such powerful emotions? The answer is uncomfortable, because luxury always speaks about unfulfilled dreams. It presses the most sensitive button in human psychology, the desire to be recognized. The watch keeps ticking. Indifferent to debate, indifferent to anger, indifferent to praise. But out there, millions keep talking about it. And as long as that conversation lives, the symbol wins. And now the question is no longer about the watch, but about you. If one small object on Jungkook's wrist can shake the emotions of millions, imagine how powerful the symbols we choose to believe in every day are. That is why stories like this are never truly finished. They only pause until the world finds the next icon, the next luxury, and the next debate. vkook TV is always at that point, at the intersection of culture, emotion, and truths that are often uncomfortable. And as long as names like Kim Taehyung remind us that kindness is louder than luxury, this conversation will stay alive. Thank you for watching until the end. That means you are not just viewers, you are part of the story. If you like content like this, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss the next story, because what's coming is sharper. If you don't like it, that's okay. Just skip. The Taehyung Lovers channel never forces anyone, because those who stay are not here by force, but because they feel connected. vkook TV signing off. And remember, the world always changes. But the symbols we choose to believe in, that is what defines who we are.